161st Street, Yankee Stadium.
Swung on a hit in the air. The deep center. Gets back. Away back. She is gone.
All right. Welcome back to the Boys of 161st Street, episode 122. Today, as always, I'm joined by Chandler and Damon Murph on PTO still, somewhere in the mountains. Chandler back from New York City. Actually, fucked up. Chandler was in the city last episode, didn't record with us, and it turns out he went to a Astros game without us, didn't tell us. We live in the city too, just decided to leave that part out. But, you know, we won't hold that against him. He might not be on the next episode or the episode after that. But how are we doing, Damon?
I was great until I found out Chandler went to a baseball game without us.
Scumbag.
And then I just haven't gotten over that yet. And here we are.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Honestly, though,
Who does that?
who does that? I mean,
I explained it for a solid 30 minutes before this. At least I told
know.
you.
I just had to let the people know.
Well, I know, it's fair. I am a
Let the
shitty
people know
person.
what kind of person you actually are.
Who they're listening to, who they're taking picks from on the Greasy Parlay at
You know
Action
what?
Network, presented by.
I did what I could. I told you after because it felt bad. My phone was dead, and I bought it like an hour before. You were playing softball. What was your team going to do without you? I was looking out for them.
Not much. I'm kind of the star player.
Exactly.
Humble brag.
And
I am
I've
the star player.
already made amends. I've offered dinner to make up for it.
It's fine.
We'll see.
We had a fun little weekend of baseball. Aside from the first game, second game, and the third game, we get two walk-offs. One by Gleyber, one by Stanton. Stanton continues to be the hottest fucking guy on the planet. Gleyber Torres getting his swagger back. You'd think it would be only against the Orioles. Hasn't really done it against the Orioles this year. Nationals coming to town. You know, obviously, I don't think it was like a Stanton type weekend. He didn't bat 500 by any means, unless I'm wrong. But he definitely had his first home run. And Paul O'Neill called it, which was pretty cool. Good for him. Claps for him.
Did you see after he hit the home run, he had the little fist pump?
Yeah, I got that.
That was the most emotion I've seen out of him in a long, long time.
Feels good.
Probably
Feels good
ever.
to me. I feel more confident now. I mean, Luke, confidence test. He's starting to be back there. And then obviously you won up that first home run of the year. You know, that's not that big a deal. It's a big deal for him, but at the end of the day, it still only has one home run. He should have already got that a while back. The walk-off to me is a more of a big deal because that's huge for his confidence too. So he built off that home run with that walk-off. Just beautiful. I'm a big supporter of the not home run or bust, so that just base hit is all I want.
Not to fact check you there, but the home run came after the walk-off.
Either way, I'm more happy about the walk-off. Obviously,
That's
but
fair.
I'm more happy.
No, yeah.
I'm more happy that the walk-off didn't come as a home run.
Yeah,
to be honest.
And even though the walk-off was like a little an infield ground ball, who cares? It's still
He did his job.
It's still doing the job. You know, that's I feel like that's where we want to see these guys improve on. Is just kind of doing the job in the situation. That's a perfect example of situational hitting, not trying to do too much. And that's exactly what he did. He did exactly what needed to be done.
Yeah, he didn't try and hit a home run. He didn't strike out, and he didn't hit a pop-up in the infield. So,
and Gleyber confidence with a walk-off and getting his first home run, I hope that's big. I hope that momentum continues throughout the next series.
He didn't do
also
too much.
tied,
and
he also
Chandler
tied
didn't do
that
enough.
game in the ninth. I know, I agree.
Yeah.
He also tied the game in the ninth though with that opposite field
best.
single, which is nice. He's awesome. I think
Clutch
I
moments,
think that
man.
home run's gonna unleash something in him that we haven't seen yet.
Who did when O'Neill was making his predictions for who's going to go yard that day, he said him and somebody else are getting their first home runs. Who was the other one?
Andahar.
Ooh, he was not right. Edward goes
said one
0
or
for
the
7.
other.
That's a
He
very
said one or
bold
the other.
prediction.
No, I did like what he was saying. I mean, the Gleyber thing made sense. Like, got to get it going. The Andujar thing also pretty kind of made sense too, but it was more of a, take advantage of what you got here, Andujar. You're up. Let's see if you can stay up, if you can prove yourself and stay on the Yankees. And he goes 0 for 7, I think. That ain't it. I don't think that's gonna get it going for him.
Yep. Unfortunate though, because I think we were all rooting for him. We all wanted to see him do well.
It sucks because even when he came up the first time in 2018, he was like one for his first 18,
Yep.
and then he just turned it on. And then last year, I think it was last year too, he sucked, and then they finally put him in, and they started catching fire, and they sent him back down. I mean, it's clear that that's what he needs. I don't know why you're gonna. I think if you're gonna bring him up, you have to give him a real shot. You know.
Yeah, I mean, I was saying that on like the last episode, like you just mentioned, he like whenever he's come up in opportunities, he just has not done well whatsoever, and it sucks because they're giving him the opportunities, but there's only so much they can give him without getting into other players' playing time that obviously we need there more than him. So it's tough.
And he already got sent down.
Yeah.
So that's the end of that. The
Breaking
person
news.
who actually is the best person ever is Mike King still, is no earned runs. And on the no earned runs train, I think, no, I know. Stanton, so he has no earned runs given up yet, and neither does Chapman. Chapman still has no earned runs because he had the runner on second that was unearned, which is a cool little caveat I didn't realize about because this new rule. So, runner on second, if that guy scores when you come in the ninth, that doesn't count as an earned run. So Chapman's still perfect in terms of the run department, and so is Mike King. Mike King finally, actually, we asked it before, like, what does he have to do to stay on this team? And I guess he's done it. Do you guys think he's staying on the team now? Is he up? Does he have a role on this team now, or is he just made it past this round of cuts?
I think he made it past this round. I don't think he'll be there. I mean, there's no way he's going to be on there the rest of the season without another send down, in my eyes.
Over, under.
Because think about it, too. You
Over,
got
under
Britton
1.5 send downs for the rest of the year.
Over. You got Britton coming back and Severino coming back in the next, 2 months. So
Why is he the guy that gets sent down, though? I am not looking at the roster right
here's
now.
the
There's
thing.
got to be somebody else that isn't as valuable
No,
as he is.
I
know there's one person that you would send down instead of him, Chandler.
Me? Oh, I would cut him off the fucking face of the earth.
Who's that?
Sessa.
Okay, regardless of how good he's doing, I know you'd send him down. So who else would you send down in place of Mike King?
Mike Ford.
Is he still on the team? Well, when Voit comes back up, they didn't make the.
Andujar got sent down already.
That's what Andujar's for. That pissed me off. I would rather have Andujar than Ford.
Is that the Voit move?
Yeah.
Supposedly, yeah.
Allegedly. So, pull up the active roster for me, bitch.
Whoa, I'll do it with a please.
Do it. You'll do it because you want to, not because whatever. All right. So I'm just thinking there's got to be at least 3 people that I would rather.
Tyler
send down
Wade.
than him. No, because I mean I don't. Maybe even pitchers only. I think we should do this for because
All right.
It's a completely different thing. You might need a pinch runner or a guy like a Swiss Army.
All
knife
right, so
of
I'm gonna
sorts,
say some
like Tyler Wade.
potential names, not in any order. Luis Sessa. You have Justin Wilson. You have Lucas. You have Mike Ford, Tyler Wade.
Regardless, this is
that's pretty
stupid.
much
I
it.
just don't want to see him get sent down. I'm gonna take the over, but I'm upset about it, of 1.5 send downs for the rest of the year, and I really think it should be 0. And I don't know what this guy has to do. I mean, until he does bad, maybe keep him up, and then if he blows up and comes back to the Mike King that we have seen sometimes, like he's been bad sometimes. So until you do bad, keep him up type thing. But
I'm gonna take the under.
Are we going to become
wishful
Lucas
thinking
Lakey fans here?
I don't know.
I'm indifferent. I don't really care.
He's been good, and they seem to go to him every fucking game. That's why I was, I don't know. It's worth noting.
I think that Mike Ford gets sent down soon because he's been horrendous. He's just been a liability.
I mean, they don't need him because
they don't need him
because now that Voigt's gonna be back and DJ can play first too, so you have a backup first baseman also.
So what's the point of keeping him there for another lefty bat that may or may not come off the bench and strike out?
You don't need him, and I wanted to see what he could do.
Why do you send Andujar down then? If
know.
Ford's not going to be there for the long haul.
I kind of get that though. He's only there for 3 games, and then maybe Mike Ford doesn't play tomorrow. We don't know that. Maybe he gets called up middle of a series or something. We just don't know. So maybe that's a way of Mike Ford playing one more game or a couple more games or something like that. I don't know what's going to go on. Maybe there's righty heavy pitcher. I don't know what his methodology is going to be. Either way, it's going to be stupid, but there might be a reason why he's not being called up yet.
So Voit is coming back tomorrow, they say, allegedly. So we don't believe anything the Yankees anybody says until it happens, but that's the word on the street is that the boys will be bopping tomorrow.
Yep.
We all believe that, yes. We think there's like a 99% chance he's actually getting called up tomorrow. And if so, where is he batting tomorrow, you think?
Fourth.
Fourth?
Yeah, I mean, I think you can't mix with or mess up the DJ Stanton 1 and 2. Obviously, Stanton is the 2-hitter now on this team. That's not changing.
Yeah.
And then I think they're not going to move Judge. So then I think Voit just slots into the fourth right there, and then you go from there.
Okay, we were talking about this last time. The 1, 2, 3 best hitters in baseball, that combination. I think our 1, 2, 3, 4, if that's the case, is absolutely the best in baseball. There's no question about it. I don't even need to hear the other ones because DJ, Stanton, Judge, obviously he's going to bounce back from this. He's not going to, whatever. Fuck his stats.
For a lot.
He's not going to be like this forever. We know that. And honestly, it's probably because Stanton's doing well and they're just, they're the same person. So it's like, one doesn't do well when the other is doing bad. I don't know. It's just the way it works. It's the way it works. I can't get the words out, but
They're like, yeah. I'm not gonna make an
but with
analogy.
Voit in the 4-hole, I would love to see that. I don't think that'll happen, honestly, because I think it'll be the 5-hole because they love to shove whoever in. Actually, that may not be true because Gio's been in the 4-hole honestly the most this season. I feel like
And Glaber too.
But they like to usually do the Odors when he was up, the Gardners, the Hicks in that spot. But maybe they came around on that and finally they'll just throw the best hitter in the 4-hole. And I think Voit is the perfect fucking DJ, Stanton, Judge, Voit, Glaber. I'll take that over anybody in the fucking league. And that's what we expected this team to be. And I think we're back. Boys are back. Boys are bopping.
Yeah.
You think Odor will have a spot on this team when he gets back from his injury?
I do. I think he's
Really? Who goes down for him? Wade?
Yeah, Wade doesn't stand a chance.
All right, fair enough. I just
Odor's
want to
got
know.
a little speed too, enough to,
And he's a plus
in
fielder.
In a pinch, be is he a plus fielder?
Yeah, he's won a Gold Glove.
Has he?
Yeah.
Is that true?
I'm like 85% sure.
What? No, he almost won a Gold Glove. He was a finalist.
When?
2017.
Damn, I was really hoping I got that one.
He's got 80 grade
Either way.
fucking haymaker from the right side.
Yeah, that's keeping him up.
Exactly. And we're playing the Rays, and they play in our division. You need somebody that can throw haymakers.
When's he coming
on the
back?
team. Odor?
Yeah.
I think he's coming back the day he's eligible. So 10 days from May 14th, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think he stays up. I think Wade goes down because Wade's been a useless bag of nothing.
Yep.
Per usual.
But I mean,
he hurt us in spring training. I wonder if that haunts him at night. If he thinks
What?
about not only did we shit on him and he commented on it on Instagram and then told us to wait for this year, but then he sucked ass and we still shit talk him in spring training in person.
Well, now it's just like we won. So not that I want any Yankee to be bad, but he's.
Did we
I don't know.
He's
I
the
would
one
have
playing
liked Wade
for-
to prove me wrong, but he didn't even have the chance to be on the field. He sucks. Whatever.
I wouldn't necessarily say we won. We're all sitting behind a computer talking about the Yankees at 9:00 after a work day, and he's traveling with the team to Tampa. But
We can go to Tampa.
our small battle, we won. I would love to go to Tampa.
I'll go to Tampa. Either way, so the walk-offs. A large part of this opportunity to even have these walk-offs is due to the extra inning rule. And I want to be honest, I'll step into my rounding third real quick. I'll just prematurely get into it because it kind of fits right now.
Field, that ball is going to get down and go to the wall. Here comes Prince. They're going to send him home. Here's the throw to the plate. He is.
So for those of you tuning in for the first time, rounding third, I guess we're going to get into it right now. Might as well.
Go for it.
Just because, and we'll hit the other topics after because it just kind of fit, and I want to talk about it right now. I have a debate topic, a controversial topic that I want to bring to the table. I'm going to give my points, and they're going to tell me if I'm safe or out. And I personally, all these walk-offs happened, and I know I'm going to be out. And I don't necessarily believe this is 100%, my feelings. When I was watching the games, the extra inning games, I just felt like it was a lot of fun. I just felt like the extra inning rule with a runner on second, I know it's not baseball. I know it's not necessarily, I don't like changing the game. And I personally hated it for the longest time. And I still don't love it. But I have noticed that I've felt a little more engaged. Not that I wouldn't be in extra innings, but I think every second of extra innings is, edge of my seat. You could win or lose right here. And it's been really exciting and a lot of fun. And I will say that. My point, I don't think is that I love it, but it's definitely a lot of fun, and yeah. So what's your guys' take been on extra innings rule? I know a lot of people hate them, and I don't necessarily think I hate them. I don't love them or hate them, but I think that's exactly it. I don't hate them anymore. I think I've grown used to
100% wrong.
Them.
You're wrong. If the Yankees had lost that game, you would not be saying the same thing. It's exciting when you're the home team and you get to bat last. But if you're the away team and you don't score, it's just like, well, fuck, this game's over. And then I'm not even really engaged anymore because I'm just like, well, literally they don't even need a hit to win. It's like ground ball, game over. And I'm just like, well, fuck.
I just feel like it's grown on me a lot. And obviously, yes, I agree with you. Since the Yankees have been winning and been taking advantage of it, yes, I've liked it a lot more. And if I had the choice to, implement this going forward forever, I would say no. But I'm just saying the silver lining, a lot of people, and I put the poll up there, 90% of people disagree with me. So the majority of people still don't like it. And I could see why, but, to play devil's advocate, I have had a lot of fun watching them.
I don't think I've ever heard another person be in favor. Like I'm not saying that.
I haven't either.
I'm not exaggerating. I've never heard somebody be in favor of it. Other than Rob Manfred, and that's not good company to be in.
I'm not for it yet, but it has grown on me a little bit as well. But because of the excitement factor. But I don't know. I also feel like this might be a really bad take, but I feel like it also
Great, let's hear it.
I feel like I might enjoy it more if it was like true California rule where it's been on second one out.
No. That's even worse. That's a worse.
It's
take.
only exciting
People are shutting
because
this podcast off right now.
Literally, there's one exciting scenario that comes, and it just happened to be the one in recent memory. It's exciting when you get out of the top of an inning and you start with a guy on second, nobody out. That's exciting because you're almost guaranteed to win. And that's what we have in our most recent memory.
Here's
that's
the thing.
It's exciting. I think if it didn't go down that way, we would be talking about today like, yeah, this rule's still dumb as fuck.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. But I feel like it's only grown on me because of the frequency in which we've had extra innings played. Like we've had a bunch so far, I feel like. And I feel like if we didn't have that many extra inning games happen so far, then I would be completely against it already. But because we've had like 3 or 4 already, it's kind of, especially in back-to-back games, I don't know. I understand the reasoning behind it in scenarios like that. But again, if we're not having them as frequently as we have been, and it's once in a while, then I don't really like the rule at all.
You're just getting used. We're getting very used to it. We're getting used to it.
Yeah, exactly.
I like the 16 inning game. I always thought those were fun. Because I mean, obviously it's even before this, I'd like to see a stat on it. I feel like games aren't going. How often is this really saving a game from going super long? I feel like teams don't routinely go 7-8 innings without a run. So I kind of like the possibility of it. I used to love staying up and watching the 18-inning games regardless of who's playing. So I kind of miss having the opportunity for that because it's sure as shit not going to happen with somebody starting on second.
Yeah, so, that would never happen with this rule. And one thing that I did see online, and one thing that I think the MLB should consider, if they are going to implement this going forward for the rest of time, which I really hope they don't, I just was saying the silver lining. I felt like it was a little bit fun in the moment, but obviously if I had to choose, I would rather go with the 18-inning game because those are ridiculous and those are historic games, and those are ones that go in the history books, not the one that it was over after one single. But one thing Brian Hoke and Lindsay Adler were talking about, I did notice that they were saying maybe implement the rule after like the 13th or something like that. Mm-hmm. Just like, okay, you got 3 more chances. Now let's keep it moving. Let's get it going a little bit. Move this thing along. That maybe I would consider as like a long-term solution. And I think that would be okay. But
I like that. That's kind of like
I would
college
be okay
football
with that.
overtime.
Yep.
It's like college football overtime. After
Yeah.
you score like 2 or 3 times, then you have to go for 2.
Or,
That I'm okay
or
with.
hockey too with the shootout. It's you play it overtime. If you don't,
Yeah.
no one scores, you go to a shootout.
I mean,
Tell you what,
I'm not
a
for-
hockey guy, but the shootout and the Mighty Ducks is electric.
Yeah.
I mean, shootouts are amazing.
We're missing Murph here. Murph would be a
Yeah.
good input to the hockey rules. But I'm just saying, too, like, I'm not all for changing the game, but it can change. Games do change, and a lot of all of the other major sports, for the most part, except for basketball, have, a shootout-esque thing, whether it be college football or something like that. And I don't know. It's just something to consider. So, what are your rounding thirds?
Well, mine was mostly it's something we talked about a lot, so I don't want to go into it in too much detail. But I'm officially supporting Higashioka as a starting catcher, 125%. I want him to be playing. I want him catching every game he can, and I want Gary to be a bench bat moving forward. He has just been a disgrace to watch, in my opinion, and he hits a home run every 100 at bats, and everyone says, "Oh, Gary's back, Gary's back." Gary haters go, come out, go crawling into your hole or whatever, and then he goes for the next 10,000, and then we all forget about it. Then it's in the home run, and I'm just officially sick of it. And I was doing a little bit of crunching numbers.
Wow,
and
don't hurt yourself.
Yeah.
Wow, you made an
Watch
Excel
out.
sheet.
I made an Excel sheet quickly.
Jesus Christ.
Anyway, I was last 100 and so this is I'm not counting his 2019 year because even though he was an all-star, but towards the end of the year he was terrible. So I'm not even
Putting
counting
an
that
asterisk on
terrible. What's that?
I said I put an asterisk on an all-star season there.
Yeah, and he was terrible towards the end of that season. So this is not even including that. He's hitting 200 since then, and that's over 177 games. He's hitting 200. He's also just been a below-average fielder. The statistics
We're beating a
speak
dead
for
horse
himself.
here.
I know. I'm
I
saying
get it.
I'm not. I don't want to talk about it too much, but I'm
Praise
just saying
you for
like,
making numbers. But
that's what I am officially.
we
done.
get it. Yeah. Okay.
And he's
Well,
hitting 150 in the past 2 years.
You're safe. We get it. I think Higgy, we've said this a million times before, that Higgy at least brings defense to the table, and he's an elite defender. So that's great, and that's all you need when you got boys who bop 1 through 8. Higgy, he can, and I'm not going to, I don't think we go against Higgy the second he starts hitting poorly, which he isn't playing very well right now. I think he's still
doing better
I think
than
he
Gary.
still earns that spot because half his game is better than Gary's on the worst day of his life at the plate. So
But it's not even a defensive thing anymore. He's actually doing better offensively now. Officially.
He's just likable. That's my big thing. He's likable. When I see Higgy out there like smiling and having fun, I'm like, okay, this guy could be hitting 500 or 0. I have no idea. When I see Gary out there, I'm just like, fuck.
all right, let's end this conversation.
I
This
will.
this
I just wanted
conversation's
my-
out of
and
our
I'm not
hands.
talking about it ever again.
Good. I'm glad. I don't know why you
Okay.
brought it up.
Because I feel
Okay,
like
so
this was the last time I had to do it because I feel like
Chandler, what's your rounding third?
he had to.
I have 2. And
Wow.
I'm
Wow.
Gonna,
Came from none to 2.
I'm going to let you guys pick between the 2
That's
which one you want to talk about.
Not how it works.
Well,
Just
I
making
don't
your own
know.
rules up now.
I am
Tell
making
us
my own
about
rules.
the game. Make up your own rules.
Look, I don't know
What
how
is
many
it?
times I can say. 1, Corey Kluber is going to be the comeback player of the year, and 2 will earn himself a multi-year extension after this.
Multi.
That's number 1. Number 2,
So I'll just sit
I
there
want-
and ponder that. Go ahead.
I want Giancarlo Stanton to be my starting left fielder.
Okay, which one do you want to? I don't know what you
You
think
need to
you're
pick
doing
one.
here. You pick one. That's the whole point of this.
Well, I know, but
You can't just throw
whatever.
multiple out there and just say, "Hey, which one do you think I'll be most safe on?"
We'll go. Well, I would hope whatever. We'll go with Kluber.
We could talk about both, but what do you have to say?
Well, we
about
talk
it?
about Stanton all the time. Kluber doesn't get any love. We'll go with Kluber.
Okay, so let's hear it.
Kluber. I mean, let's see. What he
Just,
turned
you
in
know.
another. No. I mean,
You don't
he
just
turned
make a
in
statement. You have to back it up.
I mean, he turned in another good start the other day. He's down. His ERA is hovering around 3, and that's marred with like 2 really bad starts. He's starting to go deeper into games. He looks sharp. He's throwing strikes. His velocity isn't great, but it's staying consistent. And I mean, he looks like He looks like he's refigured out how to pitch after not taking him out in 2 years. It was exactly what we were talking about going through the beginning, where it doesn't look like he's bad. He was just off and shaking the rust off. To me, it looks like he shook the rust off. And I think what we're seeing right now is an actual consistent performance that we can expect.
I think you're totally out on the comeback player of the year because just off the top of my head, Ohtani would absolutely win that if he continues to play like this because he's been injury prone and he's currently lighting the league on fire. He could easily get hurt. Trey Mancini definitely beat cancer. I mean, you're not totally wrong. I misspoke. You're not totally wrong because he could totally be up there in it. But I think if Ohtani keeps playing like this, he's definitely going to be the comeback player of the year. What you said about the extension, I do think he's already playing himself into that. And by that, I mean, multi-year. Like
Ohtani played
deal.
44 games last year out of 60.
Yeah, but what is like the prerequisite for a comeback player of the year?
Yeah, I don't think Ohtani qualifies for that.
Really?
No,
yeah, I don't.
I think you have to play.
You can't play at all the year before?
No, you can. I mean, he played like 90% of the games or 80% of the games.
Ohtani played
yeah, fact check me.
All of it last year?
Yeah, he played 44 out of 60.
Oh, but he spent 2019 basically not playing, right?
Yeah, he had Tommy John in beginning of 2019.
But didn't he still hit that year? This isn't an Ohtani podcast. Fuck it.
Exactly.
The award is credited to a player who was once a star, had to come back from either an injury or ineffectiveness to reclaim his status.
Okay, Ohtani
So
was
take
never
that with whatever you want.
Kluber could. All right, so Kluber could be there. I agree. Maybe you're safe. You're half safe on that. I do think he can get a contract extension with the Yankees, and I hope he does because this is a player that we expected him to be. I don't think he'll get it until the end of the year because why would you do that mid-year when you haven't proven that you could stay healthy for a full year? But if he does stay healthy for the year, I would like if this is day one of the offseason and he stayed healthy the whole year, and I think that's the thing. If he stays healthy the whole year, he's going to pitch like this. This is who Corey Kluber is. He's not going to forget how to pitch, and that's what we talked about, coming into this season when we signed him. So if he does stay healthy for the whole year, I fully anticipate myself to go crazy if they don't re-sign him for like a 2-year deal because that's all he has to prove, to be honest. We know he'll pitch well, like I said. He's got to prove health, and if October, 25th, he doesn't have Tommy John or something like that, he should get a 2-year contract, no doubt. How old is he?
I think he's
36.
30. I had this up. I literally just closed it. I think he's
He's
younger
35.
than that.
He's 35.
Damn it. I was going to say
And
34.
I'd say 2 years. No more than 2 years.
Yeah,
though.
I was going to say 2
I don't want
years,
him
too.
pitching into his almost 40s.
Yeah.
I mean, fuck, we gave Hap, 3 or 4 years
how
when
that
he was
turned out.
in his mid-30s. No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but Hap's
I'm
not.
saying if you...
Hap's not fucking Kluber.
I understand that.
I'm gonna call
saying-
you safe on both.
I'm using this in favor of our argument. I'm saying, we gave him that, so it's not totally out of the realm of possibility that you give a guy this old a contract like that, especially when he has the track record and he's doing well.
How old was Hap at the end of his last year?
I don't know. I hope he gets sent
Who
to
cares?
India and is in a bottle of Elmer's by 2022.
Speaking of pitchers, before we, I guess, for the others rounding third for Stanton, I mean, everybody, I don't think it's even relatively, I don't even think it's thought about anymore.
I think that's so far in the
I think he's
conversation.
doing so well in the DH spot that I was a big supporter of put him out in left field. He's been an everyday left fielder for his entire Marlins career, and he's great. He's a plus defender. At the very least, even if he's a little bit injured, he could still move around. He's an athlete. Look at the guy with his shirt off. I mean, he's totally an athlete. And I do think that since he's playing so well right now and he's stayed healthy, knock on wood, for the most part right now, I don't think they are even giving it a second thought to put him in the outfield. It's working too well right now. He's tearing it up in the 2-hole. And like I said, I wanted him to play the field. I don't even want to see him touch the field.
I just think there's so many questions in left field right now. No, we have zero production out of left field. That still holds true.
All right, Chandler,
it's hold true.
Clint with the diving catches,
Chandler,
though.
who if he goes out and plays left field, then who's going to DH?
Then you have
That's not
multiple
the issue.
options.
We have
in
No, I'm
left.
saying, there's no bat curling in the lineup that's like we're dying to get out there because they're just red hot and we need a place to put them. That's not happening.
You were on my side like 2 days ago for this.
Yeah,
I wouldn't mind seeing Andújar getting a
I
shot.
made a very, very bold prediction that Andújar would be lights out, go 7 for 7, and then they would have to put him in the lineup somewhere.
Not over.
Yeah, not 0 for 7. And then I didn't think, who cares? Shut
The
up.
argument we've always had about this that I've supported is that him not clogging up the DH spot would give us the flexibility. It may not necessarily be one guy that we're saying this guy has to be the DH, but it gives us the opportunity to, give Gary a DH day, give Voit a DH day, move DJ to first, give Judge a DH day so he doesn't have to do an off day, give anybody a DH day. Even Clint sometimes. Why not? It's just like anybody who does it's instead of giving a guy a day off, you give him a DH day. Can't really do that with Stanton because he's the everyday DH, but since he's been playing so well and it's so far not been any injuries, I don't even want to see him out of that batter's box.
He's like finally figured out how to be a DH, so we can't fuck with that anymore.
It is what it is at this point. So you're so totally out on that.
Whatever.
I wish you were safe. I wish you were safe.
I wouldn't hate it. It just gives you so much more lineup flexibility.
I know.
Like we have 1 through 9, 2 through 9 are all the same exact hitter.
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with the.
I wouldn't mind getting a new, a rotating door even of DHs and I think it would do Stanton well, but it's neither here nor there. I don't think it. I do think it would. I think he would stay healthier that way.
That's a very bold prediction.
I mean, well, think about it right now, and I don't either. But right now, all of his injury issues the last couple of years have been pulled muscles and shit from sitting on the bench and then trying to sprint after being cold for 3 innings.
Hey, listen, I've been there. Like I mentioned, my softball career all the time. Last week,
a hammy.
Last week, I was sitting down, and then I get on first base. Obviously, naturally, I got a single up the middle because I slap them around like the Kansas City Royals when they won the World Series.
A single and slow pitch softball is not something to brag about.
Well, no, I slapped it up the middle. I aim for singles. I got the pop, but I don't do it all the time because I don't need to. I just show that I get on base. But when I got on base, I got to first. Somebody else hit me over, and I sprinted, stop, 100% from first to third, and I totally pulled both of my quads. So I will say, not having a lot of activity and then just going 0 to 100 will definitely get you hurt. So there is that argument to it, but I don't think there's a world where we're ever going to find out about this because I think he's going to be the DH forever, and that's going to be that. It's working right now, and I don't even think if he started to play badly, I don't think that makes it any more likely to be in the field. Like I just don't. If he's the only time he would ever go into the outfield, even remotely, would be when he's playing well, not when he's playing bad. And I still don't see a world where that happens now. Like if he's playing poorly, we're not talking about him going to the field either. It's just this is the scenario where we would be like, okay, maybe we do it, and I still don't even see any chance of it.
Side note: is it time to praise Boone? Because I think all of this started. His little recent tear came on the heels of his benching, because he was playing fucking abysmal, and then we benched him. And all this kind of started happening. Did Boone actually make a benching that made sense?
No. And Boone didn't make that decision.
Okay. All right. Well, you know what? I was trying to be positive. We're winning games.
Who's not positive here?
You were. You just shut me down. I was trying to praise the guy. Yeah.
Not the Yankees. I loved it. They walked off 2 games. They stole one from Scherzer. I was trying to give Boone
some praise for once. All we do is shit on him. I want to give him a little.
There's too many different decisions that I disagree with to give him praise right now.
I haven't seen enough. I haven't seen a lot that I've totally disagreed with. Right. So I'll give him that praise. I haven't been sitting in my chair like, oh my God, why would you do that in a long time? So I will give him praise, I guess. That's good for him, I guess.
I've had those moments. I just didn't write them down. But
well, they're as good as gone at that point now. So one thing I did want to bring up, I mentioned it a little bit about, was it game 2 that Scherzer pitched?
Yeah.
So Scherzer was absolutely dealing, and he's been dealing this season. I was the entire time I was watching that, I was just thinking to myself, he is totally the person I want them to get a trade deadline deal. And he makes so much sense to be dealt at the deadline because the Nationals are in last place. They're a team who have definitely a good offense, not really the best pitchers outside. Corbin's pitching horribly, which is why I anticipated us to absolutely go off against him. But that was the game that it was good until the end, and then we just blew it up. So it was good until it wasn't. But, I think they have a lot of good players, but I think they're going to continue to lose, and they're in a tough division. I think they totally could be sellers, and the people who get sold at the deadline are the older people. So, Scherzer, I think he's in his last year of his contract. Does anybody know for sure if he is?
I got you. Keep talking. I'll look it up.
I think he's in the last year of his contract, and those are the exact prototypes for people that would be dealt at the deadline. And, he's obviously still got it. And I don't think we'd have to give up much. I think the trades that we always talk about, we've been itching ourselves to get rid of, Estevan Florial because he has not really a place in the future of the Yankees, and it could be great somewhere else. It's just that, I haven't seen a trade in the last ever that was giving up an astronomical amount for a player at the deadline. They've always been relatively small
the Yankees,
deals.
though?
I don't think we don't have any negative ties to the Nationals. I think it's just that would make so much sense. Would you be vastly upset if we got rid of Estevan Florial and a few other prospects?
Of course not.
Even if they're highly ranked prospects that aren't named Jason Dominguez, I'd give it up for fucking Max Scherzer, because Max Scherzer, if you have a playoff rotation, because then we don't even have to force Severino to be in the rotation. We could use him as that long reliever guy or whatever the fuck he wants to be and just make him comfortable off his injury. Whatever, it gives us the flexibility for that, because Scherzer wants to rip somebody's fucking nuts off when he's on the table. He looks at them and says, "You're mine, motherfucker." And that's the guy I want a big game. And if he's our fucking 2 or 3 in a fucking playoff series, now you go into a playoff series, if it's the ALDS, a 5-game series, you got 3 pitchers. And it's more than likely going to be Garrett Cole, Max Scherzer, Corey Kluber. And then you got everybody else under the sun to come out of the bullpen, along with a very good bullpen. So obviously Britton will be back by then too. And it's just a level up beyond belief. It's just crazy. An already good pitching staff this year. What?
Through 2022, by the way. So we would have him for next year too.
Okay, but that doesn't make him any less likely, in my opinion.
That makes him more attractive.
That makes him more attractive for us. A little bit less sellable for the Nationals, but if the Nationals they can get a bigger haul for that because they'll have a second year too. You know what I mean? So they're not just getting a half year; they're getting 1.5 years, which is also that's such a sale opportunity. They will get a little bit in return, but I don't think there's a price tag that I would say no to get Max Scherzer on the team. Max Scherzer is so fucking good, and it's just, dude. Then here's what you're doing with the Yankees now. You got 3 people, those 3 names that I mentioned. Those are 3 guys who can fucking do it in the big game, and we haven't had that in a while. We've been throwing young guys out there who just, let's see if they can do it in the playoffs. Let's see if Devi can do it, albeit 1 inning in the switcheroo with J Happ. But J Happ, he can't fucking do it in the playoffs. You're getting known, dominant, I'm gonna fucking strike you out, and you're not gonna stand a chance type pitchers. And if that's the case, those are guys that I will wake up on game 2 and game 3 of the playoffs and be like, we could win today against a team like the Dodgers, against a team, like the Padres, like all these other good teams. I will be able to wake up and be like, I actually confident, not just Yankee bias, that we could win that game. And that's why I'm so hyped about this. And I truly don't believe it'll be a high price tag. And I think the Nats will continue to suck and he'll be available. That's my TED Talk. Yeah.
I agree with the fact that there are very few people I would not give away for Max Scherzer because, for obvious reasons, but for the main reason being that I've talked about it a lot. I know we've talked about it a lot that I want to build a team that's going to win this year, and if we can get a team that's going to win this year, I would give up pretty much anybody. If we can win a World Series this year,
this World Series counts too.
Yeah, if we win, if we win and it counts, I would give up pretty much anybody.
Well, what pisses me off? Why would you not? We have so many long-term players. I mean, for the most part, giving up a little bit, and we're the fucking Yankees. When have we ever rebuilt from nothing? We've had I think it's the second longest streak in MLB history of years above 500. Yeah. What are you so hesitant about to trade prospects and players for? This, it's not like we're going to give people away, compete for 1 year, and then be the Cubs and just vanish off into the distance. Like,
Yeah, there's no like building excuse anymore. It's like we've already had expectations to win World Series already, and we haven't done it for. And the issues are staring us in the face. So it's a very easy solution when you're the Yankees and you have the assets to go out there and make a trade for.
I give up a good package for him.
Would you trade Judge?
No, that's not. But they wouldn't even want that. They're rebuilding, not rebuilding, but they would want younger, like high ranked prospects, like Austin
Wells.
Austin Wells. I would give up Austin Wells, Florial, and like a couple other prospects. I'd give up a good package, to be honest, because look what you're getting. And yeah,
anybody is on the table but Brandon Lockridge.
Yeah, Brandon Lockridge is friend of the pod. We cannot get rid of him, but I also want to challenge him to a race still. He's apparently got like what was his speed ranking in the prospect?
I think he's a 75 out of 80.
That's ridiculous. I would still smoke him.
Oh, absolutely.
I have
I mean,
to get
the
hammies loose.
You play softball. I'll just leave it at
watch
that.
out.
He plays pussy ass baseball.
Yeah.
It'll be fine.
Loser. But no, I really don't think there's a price tag. The price tag will be high because, here's another thing too, because there will be other teams bidding for him. Max Scherzer, we're not going to be the only ones asking for Max Scherzer at the deadline. It's going to be a high price tag. And I guess you could say, because we're the Yankees too, we're going to get a higher price tag on top of that. And I still don't think there's a price tag I wouldn't pay because they're not going to ask for Judge. They're not going to ask for Glaber. And if they do, we hang up the phone. But, dude, Max Scherzer for a year and a half. Like, we're talking about this window to win a World Series. Let's go ahead and do the damn thing. Look at the Dodgers. They don't care about money. We have just as much money as they do, and they're making moves. They get Mookie Betts, and then they said, no, fuck it, we're not done yet. They trade for Mookie Betts at the deadline, and then they go ahead and they fucking sign Trevor Bauer because they want to win the damn thing after they already did it in a series that doesn't really count. I don't count it. Would have counted if the Yankees won it, but it's just they're going and doing the damn thing, and we're playing in the same league as them. We're in the MLB. Is what I mean. Obviously not in the NL, AL, but you're in the same league as them. You got to go through them to win it. You got to win against them. And if a other team, another giant it doesn't matter if they're playing bad right now. We were playing bad before. Now we're playing good. It's just like they're going to be there. I don't want to just rely on another team knocking them out and we don't have to worry about them getting to the World Series. And then when we do, inevitably, if we make it to the World Series, they're probably going to be there. Then we lose. Like, I don't want to...
Dude,
if we make it all the way to the World Series for the first time in a decade, are you confident we could beat the Dodgers as it sits right now? Fuck you, no.
Absolutely not. I'm not confident that we could win the American League.
I'm just saying, if we got there and we'd have the team as it sits right now, you're not confident we're beating. We'd have to steal that series. We'd have to steal.
This is a larger issue, and honestly, pitching isn't even the problem right now. Like,
but if it was overpowered, that would be
that puts us over the top, and that
because their pitching is overpowered too. We need that.
I know, but we need something more. Like this is a whole other can of worms we don't have to talk about right now because we've already been going for a while. But this team we need to make an actual deadline deal this year, not for fucking Matt Harvey. Like, we need something real because we're legitimately a piece or two away, and one of those pieces could be Max Scherzer. But the hitting something has to change. I mean, we're doing well, but we're scraping by bad teams. Like, we beat the Nationals 4-3, 3-2, both walk-offs. Awesome winning. We're finding out how to win games instead of lose them now, and it's a good formula. But like you said, do you really feel confident that even with Scherzer, that we could beat the Dodgers in a World Series?
No, I don't feel confident beating the Rays next. Having another dominant pitcher like that, just it really does put you over the top, especially in a playoff series when you only really need 3 pitchers.
It's just relieving.
Like that is so. I would have the same amount of confidence as Garrett Cole pitching every day.
And then we don't have to force guys who haven't, like I said, haven't done it at all in the regular season, let alone the playoffs. As much as we like Jameson Taillon, what do we know about him in the playoffs? Not much. If we get Max Scherzer eats up the innings. And what does the Yankees not do? They don't eat up innings. So what does Max Scherzer do? Does that for us now. Garrett Cole is going to eat up innings. He's going to pitch until his fucking arm falls off, until somebody pulls him out of the game or has to sedate him to pull him off the field. Max Scherzer is the exact same way. He's exactly what was it? Roger Clemens pointed at Joe Torre. It was like, you go fucking sit back down in the dugout and you try to pull him out.
Down.
You sit the fuck down. Was that Roger Clemens?
I think it was Roger
Pettit.
Clemens.
No, Mike Mussina.
It was Pettit.
No, it was Mussina.
It was Mussina. He said you sit the fuck down.
Oh yeah, you're right.
So
you're right.
That is exactly what Scherzer is.
Moose.
That is exactly what Cole is. And Kluber won't say sit the fuck down, but Kluber will be locked the fuck in. He's a big game pitcher, not against the Yankees, because we had his number in that 2017 playoff game.
That's different. We had Didi. That's way different.
Didi won't be
best player in
even-
baseball.
yeah.
What do you want?
Exactly. So, but I'm just saying, if you got 3 fucking horses like that, then that just puts all of the pressure off another, because then they pass the baton, they do their thing. And the biggest part about the playoffs too, we've seen a few playoff games in our life. How often do even pitchers that are horses go the full 9? They don't, because the pitch counts are higher. Everybody works more counts. They see more pitches. Everything's a full count, it seems. Everybody fouls pitches off. A pitcher that usually goes 7 will go 5, and a pitcher who goes 9 will probably go 6. It's just a lot more stress innings. So you need guys who are able to eat up innings and pitch on short rests and all that stuff. And the more the merrier, honestly, with this pitching staff. And, this decision might be made for us because we might have an injury at that time. So that throws another, wrench into this whole decision, because it may not even be, a luxury. It may not be, let's get more pitching depth so we can give less stress to the guys who aren't necessarily proven, like Tyone and other people. It may be literally, you either get him or we are just throwing in the towel this year because we don't have it. Then
a neat thing. Severino's throwing to live hitters next week. That's some positive news on the pitching front. That might be your trade deadline acquisition. But no, actually, I know I was mocking it, but this is actually a good thing. I mean, it looks like he'll be back in the middle of the summer, actually, barring a setback, knock on wood. But that's something good. And if he comes back even a shell of himself, I mean, it just plays into what you're saying of our stable of guys that throw 98 in the bullpen, Or if he comes out in the game 4 of a long series and gives you 4 or 5 innings, I trust that pitching staff a lot more with a guy like Scherzer to have a guy that can a Severino that goes in a short start after that if we have another long guy.
Because when you get this guy, this Max Scherzer character, you get Sevy back too, then these innings where it just seems like, when Loaizaga wasn't really good, he seemed to be the one who was pitching the most, in the Astros series in 2017, 2019, all that. Sessa seems to get a ton of innings in there. When you do that, when you get Max Scherzer and get more pitching up front that can go longer innings, you might not even see guys like Luis Sessa in the game, because then that pushes Tyone back there. That pushes, like you said, Severino back there. That pushes all of the starters, Montgomery back there. We have so many more, Mike King. There's so many more names that we can just plug and play, and we may not have to see a bad pitcher, And then you pass it to the good arms in the bullpen, albeit if they're healthy. Chapman, who's an absolute house, Britton, Chad Green. I think we have enough. I think we're literally a pitcher away from me being through the roof confident that we're going to win the World Series. Right now, I still think there's definitely a chance, but I think, it seems like we've been saying, the door's been open, the window's been open to win a World Series, but we haven't smashed through it and said, hey, we're the favorites this year. It's never been that,
Yep.
It's been that way. We thought we've been the favorites since we've acquired Stanton, and it's clearly not enough. So we need to do that one more time, and I think getting Max Scherzer is the perfect fucking thing. I could see it in the fucking World Series tape right now.
Max Scherzer or just another elite arm. Like, I don't want to.
I want Max Scherzer.
I do too.
I haven't even
I'm
looked
trying
at
to be
the other
realistic.
potential people. I think Max Scherzer.
I can't even think of another person. Like Castillo's sucked ass. Hendricks has
horrible.
sucked ass. Those were the two big
all those
ones
guys are
coming
such
into the
toss-ups.
season.
They're all toss-ups.
Well, they were rocks, but I mean, maybe not Castillo as much as Hendricks. Hendricks won a Cy Young. These guys were damn good coming into the season. I just don't know who is a realistic target that I would want other than Scherzer at this current moment.
Like Sonny Gray? No, obviously
No,
not.
get that fucking name out of my ear.
No, I know.
forever.
I'm just looking at the teams who are in last. I know it's early, but the teams that would potentially be sellers who have good arms on their team, I don't think
DeGrom.
You just went to the IL. That's tough.
I know. Ooh, how about this guy from the
Cole's
Diamondbacks?
the best pitcher in
Zach
the league.
Gallen or whatever.
Yeah, but like he's pitching well, but he's not Max Scherzer.
No, I know, but I'm saying realistic target that Cashman go for, because that the second they try and get any like top 20 prospect that that Cashman's gonna hang up the phone and be like, no, we need those guys to stack our AAA team next year. So
maybe
I don't know. This
maybe
is
an
way
Indians
off topic.
pitcher. Maybe an
But I
Indians
was just kind
pitcher.
of thinking,
Hey, like,
I wouldn't mind Plesac and pinstripes.
Zach could, yeah, but even these guys don't do it for me. Like, I'm saying, smash that button, and say like, hey, we're here to win this thing. We show up and we play. We'll play for the field. Like we got it. This is like we're gonna win. I will take that to my grave. If Max Scherzer is in pinstripes, he is who I fucking want, dude. That's enough talking about Max Scherzer. I just really fucking hope that happens. But I guess he did that all for me in just one outing it totally wasn't one outing, but he fucking did it in the Bronx. So
It's been like 10 years of outings, but
Yeah.
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 Yep.
Yeah. I did expect us to bop a little more. I said it before against Corbin. Corbin stinks this year.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. That's actually a big thing. Like, our hitting is still not amazing. Like, it's doing better, but we're not lighting up the scoreboard like the way that this lineup's constructed should be doing. And that is concerning to me. The pitching is good, and the pitching's been great, but how long can you rely on them to give up 2-3 runs a game?
That's exactly my point, though. I think I'm not worried about the hitting long term. I think they'll come. I think the like value of the hitting will come around. Like, they are truly better than this. I think the pitching will obviously come down to earth a little bit more, and that you won't even feel that come down to earth moment if you fucking re-up and get an extra pitcher. You won't ever feel that come down to earth moment. That's why I'm saying,
Well, will the hitting come back, though? We're going on almost 40 games this year, and then the last 30 or so games last year that it's been like this. That's what I'm saying. This is a bigger concern for me at the deadline than pitching.
yeah, dude.
Because
Voit's coming back. Glaber looks
We're
good.
going on-
Stanton's
we're going on,
hitting
like,
well.
70
Judge will be back. Dude, I'm not worried about DJ. Will play better than this. He's not looking his best DJ self. All of these guys are going to play well. Clint will hopefully play better than a useless
Hicks is
human
finally
being.
hitting the ball. Or
I'm
We've
not
said
worried
that
about the
ball.
offense. I'm not worried
We've
about
said
the
that
offense.
since the middle of 2020. That's all I'm saying. And I'm not saying for sure they're doomed. I'm just playing devil's advocate, as you like to say. We've been saying it since the middle of 2020, and the offense still hasn't fully turned it around to what they're capable
Yeah, but
of.
I
think that is a bigger need at the deadline as
Disagree.
it sits today, May 10th.
disagree highly.
I'll have to look into the people who are potentially going to be available at the deadline. I don't think there's because he has to for a deadline person. Obviously, this is so early to be talking about this, but it's just we saw Scherzer this weekend, so we wanted to break it down a little bit. But he just fits the bill for everything, and you got to be like old. You got to be with a year. And
There's
change
actually
left in your contract. It's perfect. It's
But
perfect.
like, listen, there's only really one position that I can see someone coming in and being a huge
left field.
left fielder or an outfielder. Really, like, you're not going to take Gio out. You're not taking Glaber out. You're not taking DJ out. You're not taking Voit out. You're not taking Judge out. You're not taking Higgy out or Gary, whatever. You're not taking Hicks out for most of the time. That leaves literally one position, and if Clint hits, then that also crosses that position off too.
One guy I really want, if we're just to put a cherry on top of this conversation about deadline acquisitions.
I know exact. Can I guess who you're going to say?
Yeah, but this was too much conversation for deadline deals. So we're going to end this after this and not talk about it till it's closer to the time. But
Is it Trey Turner?
That wasn't who I was thinking of, but absolutely would love that. I don't think they'd ever get rid of him. He's too young. He's too controllable. He's too
I don't
fucking
either,
good
but you
too.
gave me like a nice, like, 36-minute breakdown of it the other night, and I was all for it.
Dude,
So
I did hear about that. I must have been drunk, but I totally agree with my drunk self. If we're getting Trey Turner at the deadline, and if the Nationals are truly sucking, and he's available, which I don't think he would be. He's too young and too good, and he's a shortstop. That's a very good position to build around. I would give up Gleyber Torres for him, no doubt about it.
absolutely,
There's
In a
not even a
heartbeat.
question about that. And the same prospects I would give for Scherzer, but I don't think that's the case. The guy who I was thinking of, you want to guess for me? Fits the bill.
Trevor Story.
Fits the bill. Trevor Story actually is an interesting one too. That's a different one that you would be. You should have brought up before.
Trevor Story?
Who was talking about? You wanted the offense. You were worried about the offense. So Trevor Story is interesting. The Rockies are going to suck. He will definitely be available.
He's like the most talked about trade piece.
Yeah.
Right. Currently.
Yeah. So I'd be for that too. I'd be for both. We're not gonna get both. I at least want one of those guys.
Who are you thinking of?
I would like 9 shortstops, please.
I would.
All the shortstops, please.
I would like Whit Merrifield. I just love everything about that guy. I love him.
I know.
He plays every position. He's a Tyler Wade who can actually fucking hit.
Yeah, but the Royals are actually
the
good.
Royals are
Yeah,
still
the
gonna be
Royals.
contenders.
I don't think the Royals are gonna be.
Oh,
that
just
good,
kidding.
though.
They're under 500 again.
Yeah, they're not. Oops.
They were good for a
Poor
minute.
again. I don't think they're gonna be good. I think they played hot, but I mean the first month of the season in 2019, the Seattle Mariners were the best team in baseball. Remember that year they opened up in the Japan series and Ichiro was on the team for a minute, and then whoever that was had the most home runs in baseball for a little bit. I think they're outfielder. No, it's 1 month in baseball. We were the worst team in baseball. The Dodgers are on the worst streak since fucking, I think I saw some wild stat since the 80s or something. I don't know what it was, but the good teams will be good. The bad teams will be bad. And that's just, the Pirates will always suck and they'll never be good. And the Rockies too. So that'll do it for me. Actually, one last thing before we sign off here. Speaking of good and bad teams, do we think the Red Sox are legit, or do we think they're fool's gold?
They're fool's gold.
I think they'll
No
be
doubt
a
about
wild.
it.
I think they'll be a wild card team. I don't think they're going to win the East, but I think they could sneak into a wild card spot.
I would agree with that. I mean,
Now
yeah.
you agree
I
with
don't
it?
think, they're not the best
I
team
don't
in
think
the
they're going to win
basement.
division.
He barely even
Yeah.
tried to convince you, and you still turned it around. No problem.
Well, he mentioned the wild card spot, and I think that could be an option.
Forget that existed.
Well, no, he just reminded me that that's an option.
It's an option.
Then yeah,
I think they're pretty good. I think their pitching was the thing that was worrisome for them, and I still think it's definitely worrisome. I think it'll come back down to earth, like I envision a little bit our pitching staff to come down. But theirs was supposed to be like the worst in baseball, and I'm not looking at the ranks, but they aren't really. They're not playing bad, and the offense was always good. The offense is always going to be really good, and it is playing really well. I think they're good. I think they're honestly, they could definitely be a wild card team. Honestly I like them throughout the rest of the year more than I do the Rays, more than I do the Jays. So I think they could
First
be good.
series against them comes in June
yep.
at home.
I'm happy when they're good, dude. I hate when they're fucking bad. It's not fun.
Here, I'll make it I'll declare it right now. I will come to that first Red Sox series, and there you go. I'm making it up to you. That is my olive branch.
He's acting like we want. We want. That.
Yeah, I feel like
That's God's gift to the earth.
We're just
Thanks.
gonna go without him. We're already about tickets.
We're not gonna tell
Sorry.
you.
That's fair. I'm sad.
No, I'd love to, but I think baseball is just more fun when they're good. And the conversations have been coming up on Twitter and stuff about like who are you? This conversation always comes up, and it's like who are you? Who do you hate more? The Red Sox, the Rays, the Astros, or whatever. And I don't think it's the Red Sox. Obviously, I think it's definitely the Astros and the Rays are right there with them. I think regardless of hating a team, that's different than just it being more fun. Like baseball is so much fun when the Red Sox are good. I love that competitive rivalry, not the hate rivalry. We don't have, because even when the Red Sox were good in 2018, we didn't hate them. Like there are not many hateable
there's
players.
no hate between
I
us
liked
anymore.
Mookie Betts. He was very fun to watch. I think Nobody really.
Devers. I'm a
I
big
love
fan.
Devers. Devers is so cute. Rafi Big
Looks like a little turtle.
Yeah, it's just there's nothing to hate about them, but it's definitely exciting when the rivalry
changed. It's changed from hate to
just competition.
Yeah.
Wow. How about that? It has though. That's an obvious feeling, and that's probably why we.
It's
just
not
said
like
at the same
A-Rod
time.
and Poppy like going at it and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
No.
Pedro Martinez.
That was hate. That was hate like we have with the Rays and the Rays. And honestly, that hasn't been much competition in the last 2 years. They've been kicking our ass. That's not fun. It's more fun when we're going back and forth. I don't need to explain this, but I'm excited for them to be good again. I thought it was going to be a couple of years of them being shitty, and I'm glad that they aren't. Who's stopping them from being buyers?
The Rays?
No, the Red Sox. Why not go for it?
Well, they gotta see what happens.
They're down 4-1 against the Orioles, so never mind. Their season's over again.
They were in my parlay today. I'm sad.
Were they? Your greasy parlays have not been hitting it. So we will turn it to Damon. Talked with the Action Network guys. If you haven't realized, we have paired up with Action Network, and they are, if you haven't heard of them, they are a gambling. It's like a bet tracking app where I've been using it for a while. Chandler's been using it for a while. Chandler has premium, so he can make parlays and stuff like that. But we've been using it since college, and it's just a fun way to track how big of a degenerate you are, and but it's fun because you can track exactly what you're doing well and what you're not doing well. Like I was betting on MLB, and I found out that I'm a horrible MLB bettor because it's impossible to bet on, and I found out that I'm a good NFL bettor, and I don't know shit about basketball. So that's just how. And don't even talk to me about hockey, but sometimes Russian hockey or cricket or some shit like that. You could track that on there too, but it's fun because you can actually see what you're good at, and you track your units, what you're positive, and your record and everything, and you can follow us at I'm at 161 Luke, 161 Bing, 161 Murph, and 161 Damon. So whenever we place picks in the morning, you guys can get the notification that says what picks we make. You can ride them. You might not want to because we're not been really the best gamblers.
Yeah,
but it's fun.
I'm on a 7-day losing streak, but it's coming.
Yeah,
it's coming. I'm feeling it.
Well, it's cool too. Just a quick little thing. You can track what the pros do too. You can track how the money moves and all that shit. So what's going on there?
Money?
You can track sharp and square money and all that
square
fun
money?
jazz. Like you and me, we're squares, and then sharps are the pro bettors.
Yeah, no, it's a lot of fun. It definitely helps too if you're gambling a lot like we are. It's easy to know when you need to call it quits and know when you're hot, and it's fun. There's little emojis that says you're hot or cold. So
yeah, but we'll be having some more knowledgeable MLB bettors coming on every Monday. So tune in for either put them in the middle episode or end episode. Right now they're going to